Hey everybody, it's Monia Mandla here again live. For those of you who are watching the replay, welcome. And for those of you who are going to be hopping on live, welcome to you. This is going to be a really fun night with the world-renowned Satori Seals. Everybody knows this man. He's the world traveler. Just wait till you hear from him and hear all the amazing things that he does. You'll get to hear the story of how we met. You'll hear the story of how he got started and how to really create a life by design. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go and make this public so that you all can see it. And then from there, share it with your friends, share it with your family, and so that people will be able to come and view it. So just give us one moment here, and then I'm going to go ahead and make this public because our streaming platform that allows us to bring this to you, what it does is it automatically goes private for whatever reason. So we have to do it this way. Other than that, the other reason why you'll see me kind of looking this way from time to time is because, as usual, we are broadcasting in multiple locations. And for that reason, I'll have to kind of look and see some different people. We are not that sophisticated yet where we have it to where we can kind of turn here and it still looks like we're looking at the same group of people, but we're going to get there. I can promise you that. All right. So it is public now. All right, perfect. It's public now. So while Satori is getting ready for sharing this with his groups, because he's, this is the man that has 7 million views on his videos or something like that. Because, everybody, he's like the talk of the town.
It's funny.
All the time. So this is going to be a fun night. So Tori, tell me when you are ready. It looks like somebody is already here saying, yay, I made it. The other thing you'll need to do is for us to know who you are, you'll need to give StreamYard permission to display your name if you want us to have personal interaction with you. So whoever you are that made it, let me know who you are. Well, let us know who you are and where you're watching from. And also, for those of you who are just tuning in, make sure you give permission so that we'll be able to see, who you are and be able to greet you properly. With that being said, Satori, you ready to rock?
Yeah. I'm actually sharing it right now to the page,
Okay.
and I'm rolling with you. I'm rolling with you. I'm
Okay.
engaged. I'm working two things
Awesome.
at one time.
Awesome. Wonderful. So we have Azure is here from Palm Springs, California. Hey, girl. Hey. So let's go. Let's dive right in. Satori Seals does not need a lot of introduction. If you have been on the internet at all, I can probably assure you, you've probably seen one of his videos. Okay. He's he gets a lot of what do we say? I don't want to call it controversy because it's not controversy. It's more so he's laughing already. What do we call it? He gets a lot of chatter about some of his work and things that he does, and so we're going to talk a little bit about the history of that. He's a metaphysician, he is a poet, he is an author, he does herbalism like your girl here. I think he was trying to copy me, but it's okay. I'm teasing. And he does, he just, and he is a certified Soma Veda Thai yoga body work practitioner. Is that how I should say it? And he's a wisdom coach who is very active in the community, teaches everything from economics to relationships to body care to just about everything. So just a well-rounded individual. I'm sure y'all can see the incense that he has going. That's in in the view. That's Satori. That is him all day. Satori, greet everybody and add to what I had to say about you.
Hey, how everybody doing out there? I guess you covered it. I mean, I'm not kind of looking forward. This is kind of fun. We have a
So
history, so no, I'm actually glad to be on here. And like you said, cover a wide range of things. down to being, an internationally certified Thai yoga therapist, in addition to other different modalities I use and what I do. Wisdom coaching, wisdom life designing, poet, author, and all that kind of stuff is, at the end of the day, it's just a secret of life. You know what I mean? Just tapping into who you are and sharing your truth. And I guess, like you said, at this point, I don't know if it's like a little disturbance or whatever, or a little controversies. I don't know if it's a controversy, but I guess
we're
there's
gonna talk
unorthodox.
And while he was laughing, I'm gonna go ahead and just say it, y'all. So whenever he says my name, so that we don't keep y'all in the dark, he doesn't just say Monty, right? He has to say, do you want to go ahead and do the honors?
Yeah. Monty.
It's a long drawn out money. And so I told him, I said, don't do it because I'm going to try. It'll make me laugh on camera. And he was getting ready to do it. And so I have this laughter behind my eyes. And so I'm like, let me just get it out the way and tell everyone why I keep doing like this, because it's funny and I'm trying not to laugh at him. Anyway, let's get right into it. Life by Design. We met how many years ago?
Wow. Yeah, tell the story. I guess probably about 6? I mean, it's been a little while ago.
Yeah, it has.
You know what I mean? We got a little bit of history, so.
Yeah.
I guess which part of the story, because it's just, yeah.
Okay, so when we actually first met in person, we met in a place at a restaurant in Gahanna, Ohio. And
yes,
we're sitting down, we're having lunch at a place called J Gumbo. And Tori brings his poetry books. He brings a CD because he didn't mention, he does music, right? Where he does, spoken word over music. And he begins to show me a video of himself doing what he called wine and vibe sessions, where he was teaching, okay? And what I noticed immediately in the video, and I'm blunt, right? I'm a true Aquarian, so I say what I need to say, right? Sometimes I might get a little shy and not say it, but generally speaking, I say what I need to say. And so in his audience were mainly women. And I said to Satori, what else do you do? Right? Because, from a business perspective, my mind is always on how do you maximize your revenue, right? So I said, what else do you do? I said, because you're obviously a very handsome man. And the women that were in his audience, I said, they're not paying any attention to any of the stuff that you have to say, because all of them, they were like this, and some of them were leaning way over. And so when he told me the other things that he does, I basically said, yeah, you need to go and do that, because they don't care about what you say. They want to be, what did I say, Satori?
The untouchable professor. You just call me that.
Don't get shy now. I said they wanted to be touched. And so when he was talking about doing the Reiki and doing the Thai yoga massage, I said, that is going to be your niche. And now it has literally taken him all over to where he stays booked constantly. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, the story is funny because I remember that yesterday, our little joke is like you said, you're like the untouchable professor. You need to get out here and touch folk.
Yep.
And and really from there, because I was doing stuff kind of behind it. It was kind of funny because you didn't know behind the scenes, I was already, touching, doing stuff, with clients and stuff. But I was kind of just, just wasn't trying to really be public with it per se.
Mm-hmm.
And, but then from that day, like I said, I was kind of meditating and stuff like that, and it became apparent it's kind of time to really bring that out. And then not even, you remember around the city, it started really started bubbling. and then I started getting interest from a lot of different states. There's people from different around the country, and then so I went ahead and just went forward with it, right? And then I was already displaying, I was already consistent with, just showing some of the work and stuff. I knew it was outside the box. You know what I mean? So
let's talk about that part, the outside of the box. Why was it outside of the box for people who are not familiar with what you do?
I guess outside of the box because the level of what I do is not, I don't consider it massage, but it's body work. It has a manual basis to it. I like to call it integrated body manipulation. So I utilize integrated body manipulation where 1 minute it might look like you're doing yoga, another minute it might look like you're doing shiatsu, another minute might look like you're doing chiropractic techniques or osteopathic techniques, and then you might see like little aspects of massage and then like a blend of energy work, and 1 minute like it's tantric, another minute like it's sacred energy body work. So it had all these different variations, to it, and there was a level of a rhythmic flow. It was kind of funny because everybody used to see it like it's very sensual, and I never really viewed it as that. Cause I was just being me, just doing, just doing the work. And but it was very important, just to really tap into the energy because our body is rhythmic and our body, so it was really just part of it is also channeling in, into what the client need and with their body, and also just an intuitive piece. So all this stuff was going on, in the creating this whole experience, and it was being captured. And so it looked unorthodox because there's a level of closeness. Some of the techniques that I was doing, it kind of just, people's minds kind of, just veered into. The end of the issue with me is a bitch with their own perception, right? And so they begin to kind of just really see it in a whole different light versus not really seeing the healing aspect of it because it's something, very different introduced because a lot of in our country, in our culture, Western culture, we separate energy body work from understanding is a key part of self-maintenance and healthcare. We kind of build it more as recreation or best maybe recreational or relaxation based and not really, we'll say therapeutic, but we just was saying it in words, but not really understanding the therapeutic part as an actual means of therapy. It's not viewed like that. And it's still a lot of cases not viewed like that. So when I was bringing in, this whole aspect of body manipulation and these different type of rhythmic flows and the energy work coming with it, it inspires some. And then of course, when you get a level of public recognition, you bring in also the hate and also the people's apprehension because they're facing things about themselves that they wasn't ready to start facing, so they project it upon you.
Oh,
does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounded good.
Yeah. So I became a mirror.
You said you became a mirror?
I became a mirror because that's what it is. Because people, people want to see what they want to see, right? At the end of the day. And so we'll translate that from our own self-perception and from our own inhibitions, right? And so we know we're very highly sexed in the Western culture, right? We demonize sex. We don't look at the grace and the beauty of treating the body and so forth. And so when someone who kind of taps in and translate and brings that level of essence and a beauty and a grace and the art and the science with it, but if it goes against, what your belief system is in regards to how you treat your body and what, all the different displays of expression of treating the body and the body work styles and stuff, it just begins to just have people conjure up their own shadows, their own stuff, people's lack of touch, right? So there's a lot of things that begin to start projecting. So I remember during the time when I just really got really viral, remember we talked about it, we just started seeing it on a whole display, I think the one time when everything's getting real viral, I remember you and I talked and you were just talking about like, yo, this is like, you do know you're being talked about all over the city. And I'm like,
right. You really were. You really were. It was funny because not only all over the city, but really all over the country. Because, as you know, my business is
Yes.
everywhere, not, so much in Columbus, right?
Right.
And, people would say, wait, you know that guy? You know that guy? Well, ain't no way he would be touching my woman. And
Yeah,
the men would have that reaction, and the women would be like, do you know him? Because I want to schedule an appointment.
yeah, it was funny, so you was getting this love and hate thing, right? That was
Yeah.
instantly happening, that was thrust into the national scene. It was
Yeah.
funny because I remember it was like I think on the website of CNN and they
Oh,
were just
you
being,
went to CNN?
yeah, it was on there, like on their, I think the side ticker or something like that. It was on there. It was just, it was really interesting. It's funny because that day, the
Wow.
energy, I was grabbing a smoothie and
Mm-hmm.
and I started feeling really odd, and it was because the level of the psychic wave that was coming, I didn't realize it. I was just being exposed, right? So but I was feeling that energy,
And at that point,
and
how many views had your video gotten at that point? Because I think the last time I had seen it, I think you told me, you said, Monty, I think I'm at around 4 million views. And in that
right,
video, yeah, that
and
was
then it
from
jumped
Facebook or
up.
from YouTube.
That was from Facebook, so it was all being generated from Facebook, and then it ended up getting to like around 7.4 million.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there was like and of course some other videos that started circulating out there, but that one just really just it just became an own entity by itself. I mean once you are thrust 7.4 right up on 7.5 million views, it brought of course right brought another level of awareness to a sacred work.
Did you
So
know that from the time I told you that that's what you needed to go do? Did you have any idea that it was going to take you from where you were to where you are today?
I knew that it would catch wave, and I knew it would create a massive buzz. That's why I was really kind of conservative and really laid back with it. So it's kind of like when you and I talked, at lunch at that time, it was just kind of like, wow, okay. Because what I'm saying? It was kind of like, because I just knew it would catch a lot of attention,
Ladies, you're
and
welcome. You're welcome.
yeah, yeah, you could definitely give Monty, props because she was one of the first people that jolted me to just to be like, you tripping. You need to get out. She said, you an untouchable professor. You need to be out here touching. They ain't worried about, what you. So
What you have to say, and they weren't. And see, so here's the clue with that, right? So the business clue is this: a lot of times we get attached to the things that we might be passionate about, the things that people need, right?
right,
When you really want, you gotta first though deliver them what they want, right?
yep,
And so
yep,
that's what I was sharing with him, because he was giving the community what it needed, economic information, right? Which it needed, and that's still necessary, right?
mm-hmm.
But with what he was doing, I'm going to be very observant, right? And so and it was very clear, even the questions that his audience was asking wasn't as related to the topic as it should have been, right? It was going to things like, well, what about, this in my household? Or it was asking, about somewhat about relationship types of things. Why? Because that's what they were looking for, right? And so when you can look at someone's eyes, see, when we're communicating, we can't just communicate based upon what someone is saying. We also have to look at their body language. We have to look at, the level of smiling that they're doing. Well, how are they sitting? And in Satori's case, it was completely obvious what they wanted. And, they're women, I'm a woman. And I think that, women are, especially now, are moving into a time when they're not as shy as they used to be about saying, I want A, B, or C. That's the reason why he stays booked all the time. So how has that transitioned, right? on, I remember, and I said, so are you paying for all your trips, or are you doing? He's like, no, that's what he said. They're bringing me out there. They're all, and I'm like, so wait a minute, your life changed that dramatically from where you were. Oh, wait a minute, I'm gonna read a comment to you in a minute. um, so from where you were working, right, had a government job, to now being flown in all over the place, helping women get their bodies all the way right, doing
And
some
their
serious
minds.
flexibility work. You've got, and you do have some sensual flows that you do now, right? But
Yeah,
you can
there's
find
sensual and sacred flows. There's just different levels, different levels, different
some.
levels.
Okay, all right, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Let's take a question or comment. Lanisa is my friend out in Memphis. She said, oh my God, I just Googled his name and I'm ready for a massage. Girl, book him in Memphis. Get him to Memphis. You want to go to Memphis, Satori?
I mean, you just gotta have, gotta have some serious people there. I had some people there in Memphis. I used to go to Memphis about 4 years ago. I haven't been there back in a while. A lot of Memphis people come to ATL when I
Yeah.
go there. ATL is one of my regular cities that I hit, frequently.
So describe what happens when so you're brought into a city. So this is again a completely, you literally created your own industry and created and designed your own life, right?
Yep.
You go into a city. Describe what happens when they bring you in. Is it 2 women? Is it 5 women? How does that whole process work?
Well, in order for you to come to the city, there has to be a certain amount of clients I'm going to be working, because at the end of the day, it is a business. And so there's a certain demand numbers, of course, just depending on certain cities, the cost might be a little bit higher than others, but there's typically, like a minimum number that I need to make sure and meet, that we booking and scheduling. And it can be depending on how many days I'm there. And how many days I'm there really is relative to the demand, supply and demand. And so when I hit the city, I'll set up at a private location, so the clients can feel comfortable. They can be comfortable and be worked on and things like that. Of course, no distractions. Build a zone out, and it's really a custom experience for each woman. They're really being able to really be truly worked on. There's a lot of emotional release. There's a lot of deep things that really begins to happen in these type of this level of type of energy body work. The reason I keep emphasizing the energy body work, because a lot of times people realize the distinction between a massage versus what I do, and so in
Talk
that,
about
so when
that.
I hit,
Go into detail about that, because I think that's important.
well, like one thing is obvious, like when you really get a massage, they're kind of limited. They're not really allowed to be able to stretch. I mean, I think maybe just now, but they're not allowed to stretch clients and things like that. They're not allowed to manipulate and mobilize and things like that. And pretty much, like my aspect is more Eastern, based or whatever. And we're doing body treatments, and massage is treating the body, but it's not just staying locked inside rubbing, per se. We're actually integrating body manipulations and things like that. And so when you start talking about body manipulations, you typically think about chiropractic, osteopathic, occupational therapy and stuff like that. So it's more on the manual therapy side. And so what I do is kind of, you could say we're basically just another variation of manual therapy, where massage is not quote unquote manual therapy per se.
Right.
So I don't want to offend massage therapy, stuff like that. I'm just coming from a neutral space on
Right.
that. But yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I know for sure that because I've sent women to you, right? Couple of them, and I know for sure that the work is no joke, right? It's you're in a very meditative state.
Yes.
a lot of people misinterpret it and think that it's more so sexual in nature, right? But you're very meditative during the entire process. You're getting
Yeah.
tuned with the body. You're, you know, just the whole environment, the whole atmosphere is actually a lot different than the perception is. How do you handle the perception versus the reality? Because I am sure that when some women book you, that's the intention. Because when they see it, right, just like Anissa just said, oh my God, I need a massage, right? But when she saw it, the thought is, that it is going to be a very sensual thing. Do you find that your clients, when they realize that, you know, it's actually more professional in nature, do you find that they are ever disappointed, or are they actually relieved? How does that happen? Or do you find that ever?
There's really no disappointments. I mean, I think my over 300 something plus testimonies speak of itself.
Yeah.
You know, so there's definitely not that, because I wouldn't exist if I didn't deliver. So the results that I deliver is just the results I deliver is top flight. Period. You're not gonna find what you're gonna get, what you're really dealing with me. And so when clients really come and then they really begin to experience and exceed versus what they thought they seen, it just puts them in a whole different perspective in terms of what I'm able to provide. It's a very wide range of things I'll be able to provide what I'm doing. So in terms of like, the sensual experience, which is cool because like most women, that's what they really want, that sensual experience. But some people are not ready for that either. So there's never one style or flow that I do each person, because it depends on where they're at. You know what I mean? So it's not just one script, right? There's not one pattern like you get with maybe in a massage session, they got the same pattern that you're going through. And that's why we see my videos, you see a wide range of different emphasis, wide range of techniques that's incorporated, because it's really about that client, really what they need. So it kind of like blows their mind, or just be like, oh, wow, because they didn't really expect it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, wow, like, well, I had this issue going on. I didn't know that you can address it. Like, for example, like sciatica, right? A lot of women, because, from pregnancy and stuff like that, a lot of times women develop, sciatic pain. And so they walk around with pain and try to take medication. They realize, like, well, medication don't do it. Well, no, because it's a manual issue. You need to be manually worked out. And so a lot of times when they come and I kind of do an assessment, I'm providing, I'm relieving pains. They might need some passive adjustments and things like that. They never expect it to happen. So so people been in car accidents, things like they might have had just a neck issue just constantly going on in their cervical area, and they come to me, and all of a sudden it gets adjusted and it brings a level of relief, and they're now functional. They're more functional, or restore the range of motion, or restore functionality. So it becomes like an education, and then so what happens? A lot of clients begin to understand, this is something I need. I didn't know that this existed, and this is something I really kind of need. So,
Awesome.
And then you got people reach out for the level, the sensual flow, and the sensual flow just depends on where, what I'm saying, where they're at, So.
So we have a question. The question is, how do you prepare yourself? This is from Sherry Marie. How do you prepare yourself energetically to serve your clients? And what do you do afterwards to get centered?
I stay centered. So this is a way of life for me. So I spend a lot of time in meditation. I spend a lot of time in recluse. Just kind of just tapping in.
Yeah.
I'm also involved in my own personal self-care, keep my whole vibration. So, I'm very involved, I'm very involved with herbs and things like that. So I have my own personal regimen. I'm also incorporating, working my personal body, keeping it open, keeping my channels open, because I'm a conduit. So I don't engage in certain things that a lot of people do. So I don't smoke weed, I'm not drinking alcohol on my off time. And I'm not dismissing it. I'm just saying what I don't do, because it's very important for me to keep my gates open. Um, just so it's really a culture of wellness, a culture of meditation. And people don't realize meditation is medicinal. We look at the word meditation, so there's a medicinal aspect, not just sitting there just doing saying these verbal mantras. You know what I mean? I really tap into a transcendental meditation, get into a theta state to begin to make sure I'm innerly cultivating or alchemizing, you know, the level, being centered and being aligned in love, being inside the truth, because that's where the alignment, because I'm an extension of that. So like Monty was saying, earlier, is I'm in actually a meditative state when I work on a client.
Yeah.
So there's a level of energy transference that's a projective energy that I'm touching on the energy lines in the body, and just and so forth. So it's just a whole regiment, I do. Then of course, I'll do my own personal clearing, where I'll do like salt showers or salt baths, um, and things like that to neutralize my auric field and things like that. Um, and that's it again. It's just a way to interact. So I'm just not, and I'm not always in these heavy crowds and things like that, because just the way my energy is, I just can't be in those type of engagements for a long period of times per se like that, and then go work on clients. So really, I move. It's kind of like this nomadic type of vibe. You know what I mean? That goes on when I'm traveling around, because I'm bringing a level of peace. I'm bringing a level of spiritual amplification and elevation, and a level of attunement or activation that's going on. So I got to always stay plugged in.
Absolutely. And that's something that you definitely do. You know what I mean? Like the incense that y'all see kind of in his atmosphere, that's real. Right? That's not because he's here. That's just him, right? All the time. All the time. And definitely he's a recluse. And she said, thank you so much for being specific. Great share. And it's very true. So let's talk about from a business standpoint. People are wanting to know. So you started off, a lot of people are now saying, okay, I want to be able to design my life according
Mm-hmm.
to not only who I am, because this change that you experienced really was just a coming out of, it's an expansion really of who you already were, right? Like you said, you were
Yeah.
behind the scenes doing it, but you still at the time you were doing some more traditional things for income, right?
Right. Right.
Now, I mean, very rapidly. I mean, you had it going on. You had it really going on. Um, and we're staying, like I said, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody stay booked and be gone like every weekend, like some new city that's bringing them here and there. So many people would love to have that freedom, that flexibility to say, how do I take, what I am and manifest that and turn that into something like what you have done and designed your life.
I love that. So you want me to talk about how to life design yourself? Is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm asking. You, yes. You see how he's getting a kick? Yeah.
So, um, like you said, first and foremost,
I think
preparation.
the kids have turned
Go
the heat
ahead.
up in here. Go ahead, please.
Oh, okay, okay. First and foremost, with it comes back from the preparation. Because the preparation plus the opportunity is going to invite the success, or at least position you to be able to recognize the opportunities to walk in the doors that's going to be presented for you, or create the doors that you might have to create for yourself, and not waiting on people to validate you. So that's important. A lot of people are just in the staying period, in this waiting period, and they're waiting for someone to validate them. So I was very, very active, and very intentional about the work that I was doing and positioning for. You know what I mean? So it was just a preparation, ready to walk in, because you might only get one mic. You might only get that one moment. And like some people, I share with teaching, and coach, privately, what are you going to do when you show up? You know what I'm saying? And then showing up is very important. So, because your gift and your talent will take you to the opportunity, right? But will you stay in opportunity? And that's where character comes into play. So one piece is to have the character to match what you're trying to desire and design in your life. All right. So preparation, part of the preparation piece is make sure your character's in line. And also the practical side, right? Your first business is your home. Your
Ooh,
first,
that's
your
good.
first,
That's so good.
yeah. Your first business is your home, and so your home must have a level of tone about it because if your home is out of order, as you proceed or try to proceed over into business, you're going to start realizing that that energy is being exchanged right from your home. So your home is really that vortex. So, and it goes to go back to the sister. She'd ask me like some things I do repair. That's nothing I do. I make sure my home environment is always in a level of state of peace.
Yeah.
Always, because we don't really think about it, but the foundation, everything has a foundation to it. And so when you look at foundation, a lot of us overlook the aspect of foundation being energetic. So the energetics you got to have, it's the intangibles, right? The intangible aspect of us that's behind what is actually visible that we begin to experience or perceive. And so you have to be very, very um, focused on the preparation aspect of the intangibles that connects to the results or the experiences or the desires or the things you're trying to actualize, in your life related to that. So um, I know this part don't sound sexy. A lot of people gloss over this, but this is what it takes. You know what I'm saying? If you're coming up and you don't have the silver spoon, if you don't have, the venture capitalists putting money behind you to leverage you, you don't have people propping you up to get, this level of visibility. I had nobody prop me up. You know what I'm saying? I had to showcase me. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. So you got to have a full confidence in you and showcase you and bring out what you really have to offer to the world and not be ashamed to
Right.
showcase you. And that's dealing with branding. You know what I'm saying? So part of branding is cultivating your inner potential, showcasing you, having your home aligned, and then also, and Mike, like you're a metaphysician. Aligning yourself uh, with the spiritual, with the universal principles and laws and truths and right actions. I always like to say. So there's right actions that must correspond to what you're trying to produce. There are universal laws that have to undergird that you either work with them or you're working against them. And the day is they're going to trump what you're doing. So you got to flow in that. So how do you do that? You got to know your purpose, right? You got to have vision. You have to have a sense of, there has to be a behavioral protocol about yourself that's in your character that you must stay aligned in. So you must have these guiding values about yourself. So all these things that people overlook and stuff, I'm very big about because that is what shapes you. That is what's going to take you to the opportunity in those doors. And you might get that one moment, but can you stay in it? And like I said, I've been consistently traveling every single week, city in, the city out, city in, city out, so consistent for the last 5 years.
And that didn't stop. That didn't stop in
No,
2020 amidst
no,
the
no, oh
pandemic.
no,
You still
nah,
stayed there.
yeah, yeah,
That
I
I admit
still,
that shocked me because I was wondering like would they still book you and still want to be, in close proximity and that type of thing in the midst of the pandemic. And every time we talk, you were, oh, I'm here. I'm in Houston. I'm in Atlanta. I'm in India. I'm like, what the heck? And it was consistent over and over again.
and that goes back to preparation. It goes back to basic protocols. I already have protocols in place dealing with the virus and things like that. I already got products that knocks out, the COVID, my Wisdom Silver and Respirate Cleanse and, my Cellular Guard, so I already had those things in place. And the same time is I'm dealing in secluded places where I'm already setting the tone to, um, to clear the atmosphere from those different things. So I've been fortunate. It was fortunate that, I was able to still, last year I was still able to be plus 30%, up positive 30%, in business of what I was able to do, and I attribute that to just being able to who you are, what you represent. Like I said, I deliver. I'm present because I'm not propped up. I'm present because it's delivers that I deliver, without fail. You know, so
What's interesting about that is what you do, like you said, it literally is who you are, right? So then how does a person who does, if they don't, I know so many people that'll say, well, I don't know my purpose. I don't, I tried what I thought was my purpose and it didn't work. Right. Or they might attribute, because I know that what you do is not luck. I know how hard you worked. I know the training you went through. I know the certifications that you went through. And I know that day in and day out, you're preparing, you're putting out content, you're writing poetry, you're doing books. I mean, you're just literally staying in creativity mode. So this is just another expression of who you are. But what do you say to the person that's trying to figure it out and is like, you know what, this all sounds good, but where do I begin? I don't even know where to begin.
I'm glad you asked that. It begins with you. It begins with your gift, right? Let's think about it. Monty. So, the first question I ask everybody: what gift are you ignoring about that you do? Right? Because I'm talking about passion. I'm gonna go to your gift. What gifts are you ignoring? It's like a big puzzle. It sounds simple. What gift are you ignoring? Because at the end of the day, it's your gifts, and then you can look at it eventually like what my gifts is connected to, or what are different possibilities, or what are potentials that can come from me acting out on my gift. So, like I said, let's go to church for a minute and say, he gives seed to the sower, right?
Yep.
And bread. And we about to teach. We gonna teach
Let's go. I'm ready. Let's do it.
He gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater. Right.
Yep.
So now everybody, get your notes out. So the word sow means you got to put something in motion. What do you put in motion? You put in motion that seed. That seed means a source of development. That seed is correspondent with your gift. So the gifts you are ignoring that you fail to develop as a source, a part of you, it's an extension of you. If you don't put that in motion, then guess what? The universe is not going to correspond with you because you are going against the universe, because you're going against your natural plug in life. That's where it talks about, in your everything works together for the good, to the purpose, to the good of you.
Yeah.
So you are literally a magnet, right? You are attracting or repelling. So when you are ignoring your gift, you are repelling your opportunities. You're repelling the assistance that come through different people, or environments, of access to certain things that will get you. So you'll never know, and you got to be able to tap into the action to lead you into it, the acting out on my gift and doing it, starting out small or whatever it is. A lot of us have series of gifts, but you got to begin there. And then you got to look at what problem does it solve. Just go back to bread to the eater. What problems can I solve?
Absolutely.
What do you mean? Bring a solution. Us entrepreneurs and things like that, the reason why I'm always booked in because I solve problems. Period. Period. I solve multiple problems. You know what I'm saying? Because and when you're solving problems, that means you're relevant. So when you learn what your gift is and how it can sit there and alleviate problems or solve problems or diagnose problems and bring about solutions, you're going to eventually be sought out if you're doing the work to position yourself and showcase yourself.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now I'm going so I'm going to that was good. That was real good. But you know me and you know how we do. So now I'm about to challenge you a little bit because I know people, right? You and I both deal with people on different levels, right? You made a very distinctive statement. There's a difference between your passion and your gift. A lot of people confuse what they're passionate about with what they are gifted and what they are here to do. right?
Right.
They say, oh, well, I can do this, I can do that. That's the people you see changing careers over and over again, or they're finding things
Right.
that, will make the most money, and then they'll try to do that, or they're getting in lanes that are not their lane because they think it'll be a profitable lane, or they see somebody else doing it well. So then they try to do it too. And then it doesn't work. And they're confused as to why it doesn't work because they're just so sure that that is their purpose too. Right. So you have some people that are great administrators that are gifted. You have people that are, like yourself, like there's nobody that does what you do in the same way that you do it. They try, right? You got a ton of imitators.
Oh yeah, there's a lot out there.
You got a ton of imitators that are like, that saw what you did, saw your video, saw the 7.5 million views, and we're like, I could do that, right? But no, they can't. No, they can't. No. Not in the same way. Why? Because that is your specific gift. And that's the reason why when we had lunch that day, I was like, that ain't you good at it, right? You was passionate about helping the community, right? You was an amazing teacher. But that wasn't, that wasn't it. That wasn't all the way it, right? So now you're able to give them what they want. But now look at what you're doing. You're literally going out healing, because healing was always in your hands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now talk to the person who is passionate about something, but they have no idea if it's the same thing that they are gifted to do.
Right. And correction me, I'm gifted to be able to teach, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you are. You are.
Yeah, I'm very gifted. But it comes down to knowing what is the attractor. Right? We talking business. What is the attractor? So you could be ahead of time of people and they are at a certain space where it's going to captivate and attract them. Your passion can be things that really motivate you or things that really captivate you, right?
Okay.
Your gift is the natural enablement, the capacity, the capability, right? The skill that you're able to do. Passion really might not be really a skill, but you could do something skillfully that you're passionate about, right? And so your capacity, your capability, that's in line with your potential. Passion might not necessarily be potential. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you follow what I'm saying? Like, I love dancing, right? But you might not be skillful at really dancing.
I love to dance, but I'm not so skillful. I can do a clean two-step though, for real.
Yeah, we got this stepping, but you might not be there, right? Or someone like, well, I'm passionate about doing body work, but you understand the skill, or you don't have the capacity, doing that. And so there's a difference. They're related. When it's related, it's dynamic, right? You get that dunamis effect. But like you're saying, there's a distinction, and people kind of just chase these different passions, almost like these fleeting desires, and it's not connected really to you, But when we're talking about that capability, and it's more intention. There we go. One's more motivation, and one's more intention.
I love the way you said that. And so let's back up a little bit, because you said something I think that is important when you talked about the speaking being a gift. Teaching being a gift, and what you do also with the energetic work being a gift. You mentioned the energetic work as an attractor, right? Because we talked about, giving them what they want,
right? What they want,
delivering
right?
what they need, right?
Right.
So have you found that as you're doing that, right, that it has opened up more doors, sometimes, to being able to give them those life skills and the things that they need to elevate their life?
Right. Yes, you're exactly right. Because I do retreats and stuff, now that one thing we launched and things like that. Also, I do, people go to my app, they'll see I got several courses and things like that, but you're probably not going to seek out those courses about the law of money, money flow, the waking your spiritual core, seeing your lover, love is forgiven. You're not going to probably seek that stuff out first, like you saw about, we talked about years ago, but because you had an experience on Another gift that I have, it introduces you to the multiple layers inside the whole system. Kind of an integrated system. It's an integrated healing wellness system. And then you be introduced like, oh, okay. Then, like you said, it's an attractor, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? Where, like you were saying at the times, like, that's not going to be the attractor.
Right.
Satori, that's not going to be the massive attractor to that's going to really bring in the people that's really supposed to be seeing what you really have to offer them. It's going to come through something else. And you made the joke, like, the untouchable professor. So
I didn't remember saying it that way, but that's actually quite clever and funny.
Oh no, you did say that. You was like you're the untouchable professor. And I was laughing.
They want to touch you. They want to touch you. And they want to be touched, right? So let's take a couple of comments. So I see Self-Love Queen. She said wash hands. I see what she's talking about. Sherry Marie says showcase you. She says Self-Love Queen again says boom facts. Sherry Marie says Proverbs 18:16. Your gifts make room.
Make room for you.
Felicia says yes. I love this with some clap, clap, clap. Thank you, Felicia. You talked to that. Felicia's my sister. You might remember talking to her before when we did a 3-way call. But anyway.
Oh, what's up?
Silly.
How you doing?
So that's so good, right? So I think that everything that you're saying, so being able to, center yourself, not ignoring that which is your gift, because that's such a good point. Like I'm just now, you've seen, like obviously, I'm gifted at the herbalism. I'm gifted with
very gifted.
Being able to look at people and I can tell, a lot of times I can look at them and say, okay, you need A, B, or C, because I can see, what's going on in their bodies, right?
Right. You're very gifted with that.
That's been something that I was born with, to be able to see certain things, right? So spiritually speaking, everything that I do, everything that I formulate isn't because I'm just a natural genius, which I'm pretty sharp, but
you are,
because I download it literally. And so people say, well, how did you do this? Or how did you know that was what was wrong with me before I even got my test results back? Well, that's because I'm operating in what I'm gifted to do, right?
Yes.
And so it wasn't until before Satori, I was doing a lot of network marketing, working for company after company after company. I had a daycare, that eventually drove me insane because, even though I loved all the children like they were my own, I knew that wasn't what I was purposed to do.
Higher purpose.
Wasn't what I was here to do. And I thought, because I loved kids, that was what I was here to do, right?
That was your passion.
It was my passion. Because I loved making kids smile and acting things out for them and making up songs for them. It was a passion for me, but it wasn't what I was here to do. And then when I really kind of started, and even now that I've launched, my Total Life Wellness platform and, have just ended up in places and on stages and talking, literally gone international at this point, literally.
Oh yes. Yep.
And it's been really an unbelievable ride to see. Even a phone call I had today it's like when people see what's coming next, they'll say, well, how did this happen for you? Because I'm operating in what I'm here to do. And that's why I posted earlier. It's like I wanted to be able, I said I want to be a good woman. That's what I said. And I said I want to make God smile and say she did what I sent her to do. And I think that's part of what you're saying, right? Is do what you're sent here to do. And that's what you do all the time, right? That's what you do all the time, every day.
Yeah, that, and and I want to ask them, because you talk about like your journey and your milestones and successes I got to observe and witness. It's a puzzle. And I don't mean a puzzle in terms of confusing us. It is when you take the action, this leads to that, and that points back to this. You've got to just take the actions of what is available for you at that time. So what I'm saying is like, if you have a pen and you have paper, right? I didn't mention anything about a book. You just have a pen and a paper. By you taking action jotting down your thoughts on the pen and paper, then the next thing will present itself to you because you took action with what you had. Being able to, one thing I teach in the workshops that I do, and we're talking about the success matrix. I won't go into that because that's something you have to be paid for. But is being able to prepare without, then being able to make it fit, then go build. And you've done that, you know what I'm saying? So being able to take what we have and allow the puzzles to be able to connect, because the next puzzle is like a GPS unit. You know, I don't know where, I'm in a whole other city. I don't know where I need to go. So I got to trust, but in faith, right, that I have to listen to this voice to navigate me through this area right here, right? So it's like go north, go south, whatever, you know, turn right, turn left.
Yeah.
And I don't even see the destination yet, but I got to, in order to get there, I got to go with the voice where it's leading me, where to go. And that's what it is we've got to take the action and be willing to take where it leads to. You do what you can. You look at the resources available at your time. You cultivate those resources. You cultivate the relationships at that time you at. And a lot of times it leads to the next thing. Like we talk about the 6 degrees. We're 6 people away from who we need to meet.
Yes.
Right?
So true.
We're 6 people away in terms of who we need to meet. I've been fortunate by me taking action. There's people that brought me exposure to things to them because of I'm in 6 degrees of someone that they're connected to.
Absolutely.
You know, so I want to bring that part out.
And I just want to say, I'm so proud of your journey and what you have done. It's been absolutely incredible, you know, to witness. And, you know, I often tease you and I'll laugh at some of the comments and some of the things that, you know, that I see, and I'll tease you a lot. We'll share some really, really great laughs, but real talk, I'm like super proud of like what you did and what you've taken and then turned it into this massive thing, you know, basically with yourself. I know you have a team, right? But it's you that's going out and actually doing the work. It's you that is, you know, getting on an airplane every week, so a new city. Every time I see you, you know, on your your stories, walking through the airport, you know, staring at the camera. And let me just say something. I told him, and I was, you know, y'all know how I am on here. I keep it very real. So he's laughing already because he knows what I'm going to say. Satori thinks he's slick with the way he chewing that gum and staring at the camera and having his shirt open, you know, when he's looking at the camera. Talking about,
God.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mom. Like, you know exactly. But the beauty of it is you designed your life to be able to do what you want, wear what you want, smolder into the camera if you want, give it face, right?
Hey, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
and you're trying to help me tap into my for those of you who've been following, you know, I've started taking some different kind of photos, trying to let myself shine a little bit. It's his fault. So just so y'all know, quit doing that. Tell him what you told me. This is going into your branding, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was telling you about branding.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, people. Money is a very dynamic person, very insightful, multi-layered in a good way. But what a lot of people don't realize is that what they probably don't realize is that there's an eclectic side to you. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I think at the time I remember one conversation. We had many, but I remember one conversation. You know, because we know we're always branding, always trying to position, and you know how the work. And I think he was at that space like, okay, I gotta, I'm expanding, and I was like, yo, we're at a time right now where um, you get to set the tone of what you are. You don't have to take on this corporate mindset because you got these open doors for you. You know, they want your flair. And that was the biggest thing that so many words were saying is like, you're not giving them the flair, you're giving them a little shoulder. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're giving them this pickaboo stuff and you give them your flair, give them you. Because as I said, because they expect for you to be eclectic. They expect for you just to kind of walk in your own truth. You know, like me. My clothes, like I got my own people to design my clothes for me.
I'm not as fancy as you yet. I don't have people
I'm just saying
clothes for me yet.
But I'm just saying, but I mean, I got, my height, because I'm bored, they don't give men range and stuff like that. So, but what I'm saying is, you have this artistic side to you, this eclectic side to you, this bohemian low key side to you that we see sometimes when you let your hair like you're doing right now. How, you're sitting there sipping your little tea, If you look closely, you can see right there, you can see the little bohemian. So I'm like, yo, we need that right there. That's hidden right there. We need that out. But I just think, like you said, it was the thing is like, yo, just people going to embrace you. That's the biggest thing, right? I was just saying, like, as a friend, like you don't have to modify, not in your industry that you're in, not in the work that you do, not what you represent. You bring, I mean, of course, we know with certain settings, we got to kind of fit the environment. But
sure.
when people's entertaining wellness, alternative health, the thing that you really all in, people are, when you sit in the boardroom, we laugh, when you sit in the room with these individuals, they're in Dockers and,
yeah, true.
I mean, everyone's kind of just in a more relaxed state, wearing Pacific Bay sandals and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So just bring out that you, because that is what people connect with. I mean, as basically, right? The flair, but it helps give people, a sense of connection and permission.
Oh, that was so good. And the reason why I wanted you to share that was not to, be all up in the business of our conversation like that, but to really help somebody to see that it's okay to be who you are, right? And when you are and not apologetic, I definitely was overthinking a lot, right? But what would people think if I do this? I was sitting up here and I almost did it. I was sitting up here. Somebody turned the heat on super hot in my house right now. And I was sitting here thinking, am I going to suffer through this interview and be hot? Or am I going to take my cardigan off and be comfortable, right? And so I thought to myself, like, okay, if I have my arms out, or if I'm like, people are going to say this, or they're going to say that, or what? Right. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like kind of looking like, so a couple of times I kind of did like this, with it. I'm deciding, am I going to do this? Am I going to go ahead and go and take it off? And then finally I was like, F it. It's Facebook. People are going to talk anyway, right? They're going to think what they think anyway. I'm not going to be too hot doing this. I'm going to have a comfortable conversation, and it just is what it is, right?
And it's authentic.
Yeah.
Authenticity moves and inspires people, and business-wise, it sells. Yeah. A lot of times we get so caught up in the pretense, or the decorative things. Yeah. I had one friend I was doing business with, and my herbal products I help supply her, and she provides labels for her and stuff, and she kept going all through these refacing what she's doing. I'm like, at the point, just do it, because you're caught up in the decorative piece. The value is right there. Yeah, you have the value. In your case, like money, you are the value. Remember, we talked about it one time. I said they're acquiring you. You the value.
Yeah, you did. You did.
That's why Steve Harvey and people are reaching out to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're the value. When he flew you in, what I'm saying? You're the value.
Yeah.
When doctors are asking you to help their clients, from an alternative aspect, it's the value that you bring. It's the results that you are known for. It is you.
Yeah.
So it's like, so don't have that and all of a sudden just give them a shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
I swear.
We want this right here. We want Lay down. Look, see, she just relaxed. The cartilage on. She, I mean, we all know professionally how we supposed to be postured and make sure we got the certain angles and,
I'm trying to be professional. Give me that.
yeah, it's cool, but you down. But see, you showing yourself the brown look. Look at that, everybody. Look at this. Look, see. I'm that guy behind the scenes, like Monty's, her friend. Like, look, girls, look that right there, that right there, all of that,
This
that's what we want.
Right here,
right there,
right here.
Yes, yes. Yes, Hunty, yes.
Y'all.
But that's the piece.
Let's take a couple more comments.
Yeah, that's the piece that we, and Monty has so much to her, and she has this bright light and this passion. And it's like, yo, you don't have to. We're in an era right now where you don't have to hide it, and that's the whole thing. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to doubt, like, well, will they nah, they want it. They don't know that they want it until you give it to them.
Ooh.
They don't know that they want it until you give it to them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They don't know that they want it
until you give it to them. They don't know that they want it until you give it to them.
That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
That's so okay.
See, that's kind of stuff I tell my concierge clients. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. So I got a little special.
You got a little concierge nugget.
So wait a minute. Have you ever told your client you don't know what you want till I give it to you?
Yep.
No. Never mind. I know you do. So
that's when you come. That's the point. Hey, you don't know what you want till you get it. You're like, then when I get it, you're like, yo, I need this.
Oh.
So
we're gonna have to talk after this about that as it relates to
the business and body work. Okay.
Well, no. Well, we'll talk. Okay. Anyway, so Lindsay says, "What's good, Monty and Satori? What's good, Lindsay and Crumb?"
Oh, what's up, girl? What's up, Lindsay?
What's poppin', Lindsay? Ajamu says, "You feeling that sun? It's hot." Yes, it's hot. And so is this ring light. It's hot. He's making fun because it's snowing here. Self-love Queen says, "Yes, I've been there. I've learned that our gifts will attract attacks. Ooh, I still have a work to do. People will always have something to say, but my authenticity always comes through. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It always prevails, man. And if anybody, hands, I like what she said because that's straight up. I mean, your authenticity. If you're being authentic, you don't have to defend it either. Now, get me wrong, you protect your name, but it's always going to shine through because most people are geared and oriented to pretense. So really what happened is that we're moving beyond people's perceptive threshold of their own expectation of themselves because people are expecting some give me pretense and we're not.
Absolutely.
We give them authenticity.
And that's so true. And what she said too about your gift will attract attacks, that's very good. But I know a lot of people who don't want to do it because they're like, they don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to risk ruining relationships and things like that. Everybody can't go with you, right? No. That's just the nature of it. And that was probably one of my biggest fears because I noticed that even, friends, would do things like, oh, well, you must think that you this now, that this happened. And I would be busy proving, no, I don't. And so internally I would halt or I would shut down or I would tone down because I didn't want to make anybody else feel a certain way. All of a sudden something shifted in me to where I'm like, the moment they talk, I want to turn it up, right? The moment you think you such and such, yeah, actually I do. Yes, ma'am.
So let's say, own it. That's everybody now own it. Yeah, own it. You know what I'm saying? I got that Mamba mentality, that Kobe, that Kobe mentality.
And we love us some Kobe Bryant.
That Kobe is like, so I'm looking at people like.
It's fuel. It becomes fuel for you.
It fuels. Everybody kept hating. I just started bringing out some other deeper stuff.
You really
Wow.
did. You really did. And let me tell you what he did. So he started off, just doing it. Now he has a whole concierge where you can get him privately and just book him for how long, Satori?
2 days, like within a 2 day period. Yeah.
So you can have him all to yourself for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
For 2 days. And how do people get in touch with you?
Several ways. So one, you can go to my app, Satori Seals Wisdom app. If you're interested in booking sessions from the concierge or Wisdom Sacred Touch, which is a 1 day, or when I'm hitting your city in the tour, you can book. If any complication, anything like that from the app, you can call my 800 number, 844-5-WISDOM, extension 1. Facebook, inbox if you're serious,
Okay, talk
Satori
about that
Seals.
for a minute, because I know how you feel about people that just inbox you for inboxing you. Say, I have seen you embarrass some folks for doing that. So let's just kind of clear that whole thing. Go ahead and put that out there.
Yeah. If you ain't serious, don't reach out to me. I mean, that's just weird. Like I said, I run a business. I'm extremely busy. You're not serious about booking a session. Don't bother me if you're not trying to do all that.
That's real.
That's just end of the day. I don't have time for it. And then I don't want my team. People calling the 100 number and you just, because you're not going to talk to me. You're going to talk to my team. So you're not going to get direct access to me because there's no exchange. Period. So if you're not ready to have a deposit and things like that, to have me come into your city and book, and all that kind of stuff, there's really no conversation and there's no energy going to be put out to you, so, and I don't apologize for it. And say, yes, you see me do it on public and I will, because, in the day, people can see here, you can get caught up and be entertaining all these questions and it leads to nowhere.
Yes,
what's a reflection of them?
I know. I know, because I get a ton of, they'll try to pull on you. They'll try to pull out free information. They'll try to pull, and sometimes they're just reaching out, not because they actually want to book a session, right? Because I can have people that want to reach out for a private health consult, right? More times than not, they don't intend to book. More times than not, they intend to see how much I will tell them that they don't have to actually pay for, right?
Exactly.
So you have to be. So when you see how serious, when he's being serious and saying, if you're not serious, don't reach out to me. For some people, that may sound harsh, but it really isn't, right? And I think I'm going to have to start adopting some of your very directness. I see Self-Love Queen said, Satori don't give a damn. He will embarrass you online. True. He will. He really will. Chema says you don't know that you want to live in Costa Rica until you live here. That's my tech guy. He's in Costa Rica, so I have a new home in Costa Rica that I'm going to be going to. So.
Oh, that's what's up.
Y'all can come visit me in Costa Rica.
See that's the eclectic vibe. See,
I'm gonna come visit, and I'll be there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be in Honolulu. So I'll be and I'll be in Mexico. So I'll have got three new homes.
So you're a nomadic capitalist.
I'm a nomadic capitalist. Absolutely.
That's the life design. That's the life hack.
We're able to set up business that way. So when you set up your business to where you're not stuck, you can be anywhere in the world that you want to be. And so for me, freedom is so important. Like, I don't play about my freedom, right? I don't want to do anything that keeps me stuck someplace. And some people will say, well, how will you ever build roots? With my bank account.
Right.
That's my answer.
That you know what you see, you about to switch the whole. That's you talking right there.
Yeah.
And really, be honest with you, I'm quite sure you got a mature following like I do. That is where it's at. You've got to sit there and really expand and understand the borders and how you're going to be able to sustain yourself. But that's where it's at right now. The people that prospered during this pandemic, and I've been telling people when they reach out to me, people that are serious, is the people that are decentralized. They have a decentralized component in their business.
Yep.
And it's need-based, right?
Absolutely.
And it's truth-centric.
What do you mean by that?
Because a lot of people, what has happened has been disappointed right? What's been happening through the presidency, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not taking a political position. I'm just saying this in the day is what people perceive, what people feel. Um, Current events that have occurred, we've seen happen last year. Also, there's people questioning about, the integrity of healthcare, right? The integrity of the pharmaceutical companies and things like that. There's real things really facing us, right? The blanketing of not telling us what's really going on economically. So people are really been shifted. The confidence in the system is kind of somewhat being questioned.
Yeah.
So being truth centric is kind of having people seek people like yourself, people like myself, that's giving this authenticity of something that they might need, but they don't know how it fits for them because there's so much. I don't want to, there's so much ambiguity in the way.
Yeah.
And so what you're seeing is the people that are, the businesses that are thriving, or people that are thriving, are people that are disambiguous, people that are truth centric, people that are decentralized. Again, wisdom therapeutics. There's a lot of different aspects to the business. We was able to expand. Like I said, we ended the year at plus 30%.
Yeah.
During the pandemic. But it's because there's an aspect to what I do that it goes against goes against ambiguity. That brings about a level of truth centric, and it brings something sustainable, encourage people to be able to walk in full wellness. So
absolutely, that's awesome. That's awesome. We could talk forever. We have. Stop dancing. We could talk for Hi.
Sorry.
Satori Seals, ladies and gentlemen. If you are serious, make sure that you connect with him on the Wisdom app. But connect with him on the. I swear, stop. Connect with him on the Wisdom app, and yeah. So anyway, connect with him on his Wisdom app. You can download that Apple and Android.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
awesome.
ma'am.
I see Chema put your information down there. So Chema, again, the most amazing tech guy in the world. Chema Bourbon. I love him.
Peace.
He's like my favorite person. We're besties. He's my best friend in Costa Rica.
That's what's up.
So we'll all have to go there here quite soon. So with that being said, y'all, hopefully you got some nuggets out of tonight on how to really first start. And I think we need to do a second part to this so that we can kind of help people kind of unpack, and I know we need to do it, obviously, to go really deep. That needs to be a paid session because people work hard for this level of information, right? But I do think that we can unpack this a little bit more for people. You know what I'm saying? To kind of help people just get, see, okay, now how do I start, really doing this so that I can really create my own economy? Because that's literally what we're doing, right? I started this, I started my business from home, and now we're moving into full scale manufacturing, right?
Yeah.
So what, and bringing it on bigger partnerships and moving into international entrepreneurship and, getting ready to open up another industry, whole new, industry.
This is powerful.
The same line, but just doing big things out of, what started out as humble beginnings. And so this is only to show you that it's doable. Satori's being able to create this lifestyle that gets him plenty paid, and with plenty of clients. A lot of people are looking for clients. Do you still have a wait list? I know you had a wait list at one point.
Yeah, I still do. And, yes, I still do. And the beautiful thing about what's going on right now is like what you got, the whole expansion is one thing I've been priding myself in this year is that we're able to allow people to benefit from supporting what I do, and they're able to make passive income from the products that we have available to people.
Yeah.
By them partners to becoming affiliates and things like, so Yeah, I do got a waiting list. Right now I'm in the DC area right now. DC is one of my main. The DMV area is one of my, one of my
Oh,
top.
you're in DC right now?
Yeah, I was down south early, so you just lost track. Yeah, I was.
I'm like,
Yeah,
wait a minute, what?
yeah, I'm in DC right now. Yeah, I'm in the
Where
DC
were you
area.
at when we were talking earlier?
Oh, I was traveling. I was coming down from Atlanta up here.
Y'all see my point? Life by design. Life by design. Right? So you never know where Satori's gonna be. You know, you
Yeah,
never know where it's
yeah,
going.
yeah. This thing's, but no, yeah. So yeah, and I don't take it lightly. And I really, it's a gratitude because I'm able to see that there's a natural alternative way to maybe address. A lot of people don't realize the power of getting and receiving um, really good body work, how much it'll alleviate a lot of things that we're really dealing with. And people get to really be able to experience it, especially, talking African Americans. And I will say this, you got myself, but there's a host of other, actually women, that I'm connected with that's out here doing this work. They're actually starting to travel.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I provide, kind of mentorship, just as and just so you got so there's some things going on. I mean, people's really bringing out this work in multiple different ways.
Awesome.
So
So y'all make sure you go to YouTube, check him out, check out his page, like his page here on Facebook,
IG, Satori
IG.
Seals.
Yep. So check out Satori Seals. Follow him, and if you need, and which you do, right? Book him. Get on the list. Book him.
Budget me.
He's got some amazing therapies as well. If you're watching this from YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, right? And share this with people who might also want to kind of get some ideas on how they can take what their gift is and then design a life that allows them to be free, right? To set,
Yes.
their own paycheck and do the things and live life on their own terms. And now this is a really great time for people to get creative, to get, to really tap into solving a problem for the world that is, not the world that was, right?
You better
And
say
yes, you
that.
have a gift for the moment. Whatever this moment is, there's already the seed inside of you. Whatever that idea is, make it happen. All right. You got some
Showcase
parting
you.
words for him, Satori?
No, at the end of the day, it's showcase you, and I'm glad you brought me on your platform, and I appreciate you, and everything that you're doing. I'm happy to love to see how you just expanding. You
Thank
know,
you.
you got very good products. You're consistent. You know what I mean? And it's good to see that you're consistent. You're expanding. Well, you name three different locations, three different countries, Costa Rica. So you're doing your thing. So it inspires me. I get to watch from afar and just be inspired to motivate me even more what I'm trying to do. So
Likewise.
look at
Thank you
you,
so
looking
much.
all down to earth. We like that.
You got
We
it.
like that. We we like that.
This is down to earth, y'all. Down to earth. Authentic me. It's hot in here. I'm going
Yeah.
to go open up a window in a moment. So be it. Sorry,
I
thank you. I
love
love
it. I
y'all.
love
Thank you
it.
so much. So stay on. We're going to end the broadcast and then you stay right here, okay? We'll see y'all next week. Make sure you're hitting like, subscribe, and share. Peace.
Peace, everybody.